This section here, we're going to talk about the shock absorbing lanyard. There's three basic subsections or subsystems that we're going to be talking about. One is the shock absorbing lanyard, two would be the self-retracting lanyard, and we're going to talk about the fall arrest rope grab system. When we're talking about lanyards, we're looking at a couple of different things in regards to the lanyard itself. Each lanyard is going to have a connector on the end. This is a locking snap hook that will be rated for 5,000 pounds between its intended points of contact. We have to make sure that what we attach this snap hook to is compatible with the size of the snap hook so that we load it properly so that we don't have a condition called rollout. Also attached in the lanyard is going to be some sort of shock absorbing device. This happens to be what's called tear tape. What happens is when this receives a load, the white tape on the inside starts to peel apart and you have a black backup strap so that the whole system doesn't come apart. The whole idea being is that on a 6-foot free fall, this is going to limit the load on the body to 900 pounds or less. There's also other options that we have on lanyards. You see this one's got two legs. This is a twin leg lanyard. This enables the worker to be able to connect at one point and transition to another point and maintain 100% tie off. That's important because a lot of times you get into a job, you've got to have some mobility. And the only way to have that mobility is to be able to have a twin leg lanyard that enables you to move from point to point. Other technologies that we have would be a technology that we call the diamond lanyard. So this is a shock absorbing lanyard as well. This happens to have a looped in on one end that we can use either with a carabiner or some other attachment to the harness. We also have our snap hook connector on the other end. What this uses is a filament that runs through the length of the lanyard, and that filament will stretch at a given rate and provides us the shock absorption that we need in order to bring it to a stop to that 900 pounds or less. The outer sheath on this is the strength component. We fold that sheath in on itself so that when this deploys and comes apart, the outer part is what's going to hold you in place, but the inner part is what's going to stretch and give you that shock absorbing effect. This is a single leg lanyard. So this lanyard only allows me to have the connection to my harness and then reach out to a single anchor point, but I can't move out of that area. I've only got the one connection. The other things that we have on lanyards would be different styles of snap hooks. This is a large snap hook, typically used in construction. This enables me to have an anchor point on the back of a concrete form. I also have a twin leg lanyard so I can move around. Another feature is the fact that I can adjust the length of the lanyard because it's got an adjuster. So I can change the length, again, to limit the amount of free fall distance. Always keeping in mind that the less free fall distance I have, the less energy that develops in the system, the better off I'm going to be. We also have other specialty lanyards, such as this one. This has got a looped end that attaches to the back. This is for our Arc Safe product. So here we've got a protective cover that's all been tested against the arc flash condition so that you've got a component that will work in that type of an environment. The other area that we need to talk about is a condition that's called tie back. So certain products enable me to go around an anchor point and then tie the hook back onto the lanyard. This is a condition called tying back. And again, it's back to the manufacturer. The manufacturer will make that determination as to whether or not tying back onto the product is going to be legal. With this particular style of snap hook, we are able to load this snap hook in 5,000 pounds in whatever direction that we apply that load, and we're going to be all right with this type of a hook. So this would be a tie-back lanyard. So this is going to be the first system that we talk about in the fall arrest systems, and that would be the lanyard. You're going to have free fall, then the shock absorber is going to deploy, and then we're going to limit that load to the 900 pounds. Previously we talked about the drop using the test torso that weighs 220 pounds without a shock absorber, and we've talked about shock absorbers, so let's step back a second and take a look at this a little closer. This particular type of shock absorber is called a rip stitch shock absorber. Its function is to take energy out of the system when it's dropped. So what happens is that this lanyard will come apart, and then what happens is this will rip, the rings go through the stitching, creating a tremendous amount of friction. And that's going to drop that load from that 2,700 pounds that we saw earlier to under 900 pounds. So all we do is we hook the shock absorber between the back D-ring and the anchor point, and that's going to provide us the shock absorption that we need. So what we need to do is look at the behavior of the test torso when we've got the shock absorber in line. So let's go ahead and raise this up. Then we're going to conduct the same drop that we did before. So you can see the behavior using the shock absorber limits the amount of rebound down at the bottom because we're controlling the amount of energy in the fall. And when we look at our load cell, this should be under the 900 pounds. You can see here that we're at the 580 pounds. So we reduced the energy in the fall. We controlled the amount of motion at the bottom. The only thing that we added was distance into the system. So that distance allowed us to absorb the energy in the fall.